My name is Patrick Okui. I'm a network engineer and trainer with the Network Setup Resource Center. I consult with them. The rest of the time I'm doing my own consultancy. I've been doing this officially since 2012, but I've had a relationship with Network Setup Resource Center for more than a decade before that. My background, I worked mostly in service provider networks. I worked in One2Net at some point in time, and I spent a few years with Infocom. So my background is mostly ISP networks, though I spent some time working at the Uganda Christian University as their network and systems administrator. And my day-to-day activities are mostly around during a training we'll be preparing materials, reviewing materials, preparing labs. During an event where we are doing actual work on a campus, on a university, it will be doing actual planning and design of the network, as well as helping the engineers implement whatever we've decided. I've been with the Network Startup Resource Center since officially since 2012, but I met them a long time ago in a different capacity. In this case, they were helping me learn new things, and that is as early as 2001 is when I think I first met them. Actually 2000, like late 1999, early 2000. As for RENU, we started working closely together with them right from when they started running their own trainings, and this started with a training program for other engineers, which we ran in I think 2013, and then the first RENU training I think was 2014, and I supported them. I was part of the team that did the initial training here that year. And I've not attended all of the trainings. Most of them I've done support, both some in person, some over email and internet over the years up until today. For this concluded workshop, my role was to help, first of all, with a bit of the technical part of the planning before we came here. This workshop was a security workshop, and then we had an event at the Infectious Diseases Institute, and we were asked to help them improve their network. So I had the role both to prepare for the workshop itself and help RENU get the kit, the virtual training platform that we use to train the engineers up and running. And then for this week, I was helping the team that was doing the network redesign to come up with things like addressing schemes and configuration for the different routers and switches, and as well as showing them how to document their network so that they will be better at being able to share this with their different teams, as well as being able to share this with potential partners and people like RENU. So a workshop is a hands-on training, and it is based on topics that come out of one of a certain set of topics, and the different topics follow each other in a particular predefined sequence, and sometimes it can be scaled up or down depending on the experiences of the participants, but it is hands-on, which means for 8 hours a day people are doing a bit of presentations and a bit of actual work on different devices. DEA, Direct Engineering Assistance, is outreach that RENU does to its members, and the NSRC supports them on many of them. And in this case, we go to the members' network, the network that they're using for day-to-day work, and that's the network which we attempt to improve in a particular way. So the trainings, much as they're hands-on, are a bit abstract with a bit of contributions from the participants, whereas a DEA is an activity done on the participants' real day-to-day live network based on the challenges that they are facing. And their challenges might cut across different things covered in different workshops. So the DA is pretty intense, and most people, to make use of a DA, need to have attended the workshops to understand why we would like to do things certain way. The capacity building team of RENU has grown from just 1 or 2 people to a slightly bigger audience, and it kind of grows by making use of the people who, for example, DEAs are done on their campuses. They become facilitators either for the workshops themselves or for the DEAs at different campuses. So in a way, RENU has been able to grow the number of people willing to spend time facilitating, and that's really encouraging. An example is for this DA that we are doing at the Infectious Diseases Institute. We have someone from the Makerere University, Johns Hopkins University Institute, who's also been with us the previous week for the security training. And every DEA and workshop has a participant who previously came on as a participant. And I think that has been successful in that regard. So since the different people who are coming on board to teach the DEAs have different skills and different strengths, I think more time needs to be spent analyzing or having feedback on what the strengths of the individual facilitators and trainers are, so that they can better be part of the process without being put in a situation where they're trying to teach something that they're not very familiar with, or something that they've just seen only written somewhere. If we spend a lot more time in figuring out which people have which strengths, and then we can make use of them in each training and DEA. Of course, this means a lot more planning. The good thing is there are only 3 events a year, so we can be able to plan ahead based on the team that is available in country. So for the social and organization side, RENU has made a big effort in making sure that people are given the chance to interact with each other. During the workshops, especially, they will try and make sure that all the participants are housed within the same facilities, whether it's donated by the hosting university or if it's even a hotel that's being paid for. And this makes things like getting to and from the workshop easier, because everybody's doing it at the same time. But it also gives the participants a chance to socialize outside class, and this builds the human network, which is more important than the digital network that we have. Also, they've been pretty good at organizing things like lunches, the different meals, the different transport, as well as sorting out accommodation for all the facilitators and things like that, which many people do not see on a day-to-day basis. Simple things like making sure that people have stationery to write on, that the classes have projectors and all that in time before the workshop begins. And I think that has worked pretty well. Okay, so for the social and organizational side, I think, for example, when an institution is picked to be the recipient of some direct engineering assistance, a lot more needs to be done to understand what is on the institution right now. before the people, before the facilitators from wherever they're coming arrive. For example, it would be better to know, to have network diagrams of what's going on, to understand what are the actual equipment requirements, and to also understand things like what would be the most impact in case we're able to find donors to give us something. What should we ask for as the number one ask and try to get into the country? Because with the way things happen with customs and how people have to clear things and then pre-inspection, some of these things cannot be fixed on site. They have to be fixed months in advance, and I think we need to be a lot better with that. I also think we need to be sure that we don't intentionally move trainings from one place to another simply because different personas offer to host the trainings, without checking to see is it possible, how easy is it to hold the training in that particular location. I think this week, past week, doing the training at the RENU training facility was a good idea, and it should be looked at as a first alternative unless the hosting university has very good conference facilities, because you don't want to be struggling with power, with access to whiteboards or basic things like that. So I think a bit more of planning before the events, both the workshops and the DEAs, is what we need to do. RENU started out as a very small team with mostly volunteers who had full-time jobs at their host university. It's now grown to some full-time staff who have different roles within RENU. And in that same amount of time, I think partly because of the trainings and the DEAs, they've been able to have more institutions come on board as the members and owners of RENU. And this way they are growing their community, and it can only get better. They need to just keep playing the role of facilitating both the sharing of information, of knowledge, as well as the building of networks, and hopefully they can also connect the different people to different donors, equipment vendors and the like, and I think they can do this pretty easily.